Welcome back to this Python programming series. My name is Nilu, and in previous lecture we have discussed about the Python loops, for loop, while loop, and in this lecture we are going to learn about the functions. So a function is a block of code which only runs when it is called. You can pass data known as parameters into a function. So the data we are passing that we called parameters. A function then return data as a result. So let's say how to create this function. To creating this function, you have to use a diff keyword and then function name. So let's say this is diff keyword and my function name is fun. So uh, then after you have to write small bracket and the colon. Then you can define whatever you want to do. For example, if you want to use if else statement, you want to use for loop, you want to use anything just to print, so you can use anything inside that function. So here I am just printing, let's say welcome, right? So and this is just a way to define the function. Now if you want to call this, because you have this is the way of defining, but you need to call this function, so you can just write func, and after that this is the way of calling the function just by using the function name. Okay, so let's see. So I have called functions, whatever is inside this function, this will return. And we can also do these functions by using the parameters called argument, and this argument is we can send it from the function name. For example, my function, and I want to send my name, let's say Nilu, and this function is taking first name, f name. So this is a variable which will take this name as argument, and welcome. Okay, so then I will write, okay, first name, student. Let me say students. So this is my name that I am calling. So this is variable I am calling. Then I am just writing the name. So what this will do, this will just write welcome students, right? So here you have to give this a space, and to make it quite clear, yes, so this is welcome students. So this is a way of uh, sending an argument. If this is a student, and you can also pass multiple statement called instead of a student, you can write um, your name, or welcome to teacher also. So you can also write welcome teacher. So these are two functions is calling, giving the parameter one by one and calling the function. So parameter, as I am saying parameter, sometimes I am saying argument, so both are the same thing, so you can use either, and that are the information that you are passing into the function. So the next thing is number of arguments. So a function must be called with the correct number of argument. It means if your function expect two argument, then you have to call the function with the two argument, not less than, not more than. For example, say here if you send two, in the previous example, hmm, let me add one more cell. Okay, so here in this the same example, if I will send student and teacher in the same cell, then it will give the definitely it will give error, because because this is taking only a single argument and you are giving the two argument. And if you want to give the two argument, uh, you have to you have to do the you have to call the both name and let's say teacher name. I can call using f name 2. This argument might be our name 1, and then I can concatenate name 1, and then I have to use plus again, and then you can write n, and then you can again add plus, and you can write you can use name 2. This will work. Yes, so this is a way of doing calling the exact parameter. You have to call the right number of parameter as your function. Okay, so this is about the functions. There is one more thing about the function called arbitrary arguments. So if you do not know how many argument that will be passed into your function, so then we can add a star before the parameter name of in the function. So let's say uh, because why we do this, because in this way the function will receive a tuple of argument and can access the items accordingly. So uh, let's take example for that. For example, I have a function func, and I don't know how many parameter will go into this name, right? And uh, then I am print uh, let's say name is, and then we are giving, let's say we are giving some function argument. So my function name is funcs, and I am giving argument as student and teacher. So this is I am giving two values. So for this, if we don't know how much argument we need to give, so we can just write plus name of index, like you want to access 0th index or you want to access the first index. So this is the about the 0 index. If you will say this is about the first index, so name is teacher. Let me write this, welcome teacher. This makes sense. Okay, so this is about the arbitrary argument calling, and what it do, it will this is a way the function will receive a tuple of argument and can access the item accordingly. And we have the keyword arguments. So that means we can also send argument with the key and the value syntax. So in this way, the order of the argument doesn't matter. Whatever you want to give, we can give. For example, uh, let's say this is my function, fun, and after that I am writing. I'm giving name 1, name 2, name 2, name 1, name 2, and name 3. So this is I am giving, and I'm printing something. So I am printing the same thing, like I'm printing the same thing. Okay. So I have defined my function, and this is my 3 names, and if I want to call name 3, so I can just write the name 3, and I am calling it from the function. Function name is by using the function name, that is fun, and after that you have to give name 1, name 2, name 3. Name 1 is equal to let's say you are having Nilu, and name 2 you have Monica, and the name 3 you have, you can change the order also. You can give the name 3 here, and name 2 after that. Name 2 is equals to money. So this is a different way of calling the function. So it will give the welcome Monica, right? So this is one way of doing this, calling for argument, arbitrary argument. Now there is one more keyword called star, um, that is called keyword arguments, arbitrary keyword arguments. And this arbitrary keyword argument, if you do not know how many keywords argument that will be passed into your function, so we use 2 star before the parameter name in the function definition. So this in this way, the function will receive a dictionary of argument and can access the item accordingly. For example, let's say I have a function for define my function like fun, and I am giving star name, because I don't know how much parameter I'm going to give, and then I am printing this thing. So all right, so I am giving this thing. So how you have to call, you have to just write the so you have to just write the whether you want to call the name 1 or name 2. So you are calling name 2. Let's say you are calling name 2, so it will say it is giving error because plus name doesn't okay, sorry. So in this yeah, minor mistake I have done. Here you have to use this. Yes, here you have to use the quotation marks, right? So this is another way of calling the name into using the argumentative functions. So this is called the arbitrary keyword arguments. So and the next thing in function is default parameter value. So what you can do in default parameter value, the default parameter, we call the function without argument. In this, if we don't have any argument, then we call this without any argument. It uses a default value. uh, for example, sorry, okay, so for example, this need to delete. Have to create the cells here. Okay, yes, so we are looking at the example of default parameters. So let's say I have a function fun, and I am giving a default parameter for my name as Nelu, because I don't know what I will gonna give. If I'll not give anything, then I will this will use default parameter, and this will print uh, welcome welcome Nelu. So this is just a way of calling the default function. We are calling name, and if we are not giving anything, let's say we are giving fun, and we are not giving any argument, and it will return welcome Lilo. And here you have to use some space, right? And if you are giving any argument, so you can do fun, and here you can give the name like welcome Monica. So this will be like welcome. This will take the argument from here. Once if you are not giving your value, then it will call the default argument, default parameter values. So if you want to pass a list of list as an argument, then you can also you can do like this. For example, okay, so for example, let's say I have this function define fun, and I have a name, and now I'm using for loop for x in name, because I am using a list. So list you already know how to access. Print item of list x. So I am giving a list. I'm giving list here as an argument. So I have a list called names is equal to, and a list of name called Monica, and then list of called Manisha, and you have a list of called Janvi. Right? So this is a list, and I want to give this list as an argument. So I will call function, and will give this complete list called names, right? So it will print all the names from the list. So the function will work in this way. So this is also one way of doing this. If we want to return the value, for example, I have a function called define fun, and let's say I'm giving the I'm doing some mathematical operation over it, and I would like to return whatever I have, like six time of this a value. So I would like to return this. Then I will print, and can give the function name function and will give the value. So let's say I am giving this 7, so 7 will go to here and 7 will multiply with this 6 and it will return the answer 7 6 are 42. 7 6 are 42, right? So it will give the answer. Okay, so this is another way of doing this. If you don't want to do any operation, you can just write the function name and you can just put the pass function. So other things in this is called recursion. So recursion is like you are just means defining a function and it is calling itself. So this that is called recursion. Then for recursion, when function call itself, then for example, let's say you have an example of recursion like uh, RAC recursion, right? And this is taking any value like it is taking up a value and then it is using if statement if this a is greater than some value and then it will result uh, is equal to let's say a plus doing some task uh, a plus a let's call this function recursion function and give the k minus 1 give the a minus 1. So here you are again calling this function. So this recursion we most of the time we are doing we did in the there's one subject called EDA. So there and we use a lot of recursion functions to call function inside the function or function itself the function, not inside the function. That is two different things. Function itself calling function or function inside the function is two different things, right? So then it will print the result. So this is a function and we can do so let's say this is just my simple function and I am giving print uh, let's say I'm printing uh, result of function recursion. So this is I would like to print result of the recursion and then I am giving the value for this recursion function as initial value like 3 I am giving and then I am running this command. So somewhere I again made mistake. Print result is fine. Okay, so result of recursion and then what is this error? Unsupported operand type. Okay, this is unsupported operand for plus int and null type. So this is not taking any value. This is a plus function again I'm calling and result I have done and yeah, so what mistake I have done. recursion of a a is greater than equal greater than 0, and yes, 3 is greater than 0. Let's say let's try with 6. Okay, and result should be in this result, print result. Okay, so I'm not returning anything. I have to use the return statement. That's what mistake I am doing. Return what? Return result. Okay, so what the hell? Let us use and let us use else, and we'll try with else. Then else return result is equal to 0. Okay, then return result. Mm, yes. Okay, so if I am using this and this condition is not working, then I have to write the else statement here. So this is about the recursion, this calling itself again and again. So okay, so this is all about function. Next video we will learn something about arrays or other remaining concept in Python. So thank you so much for joining me.